All right, mic check. Morning Masters Podcast, your main, of course. Today I got a special guest across from me to start the new year out. I'm going to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick. Go ahead, tell people who you are.
Hey, everybody. My name is Dominique Simpkins. And you want me to go more in depth?
Yeah, definitely.
And
Tell us about yourself.
Okay. I have my own organization called CRYDC, City of Refuge Youth Development Center. And the aim of City of Refuge Youth Development Center is to retrain the mindset of the youth from street life to heat life. And heat is honest, educated, assured, and triumphant youth. And we do that through the use of character development and trade skills.
All right. Before we get into all that, I want to kind of give a little bit of your background though. But before I do that, this is a new year. This is 1-1. This is the first time I'm doing this year. I make that announcement. You got anything set that you want to do, like a New Year's resolution? Do you believe in those, or?
I do. I don't want to call it a New Year resolution though. Just setting goals, period. And that's all across all spectrums: spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, travel goals, all that. Actually, I just did a clip on that.
I seen that last night. Yeah.
So yeah, just wanting to set goals to better and improve myself, and not just myself, my children and my community.
Yeah. So is it important? Because I know it's important to me. Like, we always talk about New Year's resolution. It's always from a personal standpoint of a self-centered standpoint. But I feel like a lot of times too, we got to think about. Let's say I might not want to change them by myself this year for whatever reason, right? Mm-hmm. But I might want to impact others around me.
Yeah.
So like that'd be a resolution for me as well, like to just help those around me or help change those around me somehow, some way.
Definitely. And I guess you can call that self-centered sometimes, but if you improving you helps others, that's not really self-centered. You get what I'm saying? If you're improving yourself to where you're opening businesses or whatever you're doing, and it's offering opportunities for other people, you improving your community, not just yourself. Right. So, yeah.
No, that's dope. And I think basically, I know kind of what I do and what you do and what we get into later. It's kind of, that's what we do on a regular anyway. You know, you just kind of bettering something around you, you know what I'm saying? Something you've seen, or people around you rather. But yeah, so let's get into a little bit about your background though. Like, where you from? Like,
I'm from Gloverville, South Carolina.
Gloverville, South Carolina.
Yes.
You know, I've never heard that. I thought I seen you at Facebook before. Like I said, I've followed you for a couple years now, and I'm gonna be honest with you. And at first, I thought you just, you know, people to say whatever they from this part of the USA or they went to Hard Knocks University, not really a real school, but you could put it there. I thought that's what it was. This is a real place.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that place.
Small town. I grew up in the projects in Gloverville. Around all my cousins, all my family, hood life, witnessing all the things that you witness in the hood, the struggle. Gloverville has gotten a little better in the sense that there are more black-owned businesses out there now. My auntie owned a business, my uncle, my uncle's best friend. So it's getting a little better, but it's still a lot of at-risk youth around there, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of crackheads. I hate to say it like that. A lot of prostitutes, a lot of drugs, put it that way. I
know you say you hate to say it like that, and I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like it is wild. Like, over time, we've come up with names for quote unquote, let's say bad kids. We say at risk, right? Yeah. We come up with names with delinquents. We say delinquents, not thug. But really don't name to come up with when it comes to the people that's doing drugs. Like, we just say crackhead. I don't know. Like, there's no name for it really. So that's funny to me. Like,
what else can you call?
I know, right? Like,
drug addicts.
It's hard to take. Most time they're adults. So like, you know what you call an adult to make a lot of mistakes. I don't know. And irresponsible, I guess. Irresponsible drug addicts. I don't know. That had a nice ring to it to me. It just.
I guess, but I don't know, because I don't know where you would go with that.
That's my resolution this year. I'm gonna think of a name for crackhead. I'm gonna think of one. Yeah, I'm gonna think of one. Just cause.
You gonna give it a new name?
I'm gonna come up with a new name. We ain't gonna call them crackheads in 2022.
Right. Well, let me know so I can coin it.
I'm gonna add you. I got you.
Okay.
But Gloverville, the project. I grew up in the project too. I hated the project. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I grew up in poverty like all my life. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know, it's different levels of poverty. You know, the project level is so different because you really confined to it. Like, it's really a project for real. Like, you really are a project.
Yeah.
Like, everything you could think about in this, all like just to see how you're gonna react to this. Yeah. How is this gonna? if we put these I ain't say at risk, but these at risk kids with these low paid citizens, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And it's always like a rat trap. You know what I'm saying? I hate the project for that reason.
That's definitely what it is.
But then I noticed, like, growing up in just areas that are still bad, but it's not necessarily projects. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's different when it's small and confined. So, like, what was the projects in Gloverville like?
Definitely small and confined. Hence why there was a lot of things going on. But the things that we had when we were younger, we had outlets as far as boxing gyms. We had youth camps, summer camps, all those type of things. So it gave us other avenues. You know, some neighborhoods don't have that at all. They don't even have Boys and Girls Club, or if they do, it's low funding. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, as a matter of fact, when we was coming up, all the programs was free. Now everything is charging, so it's kind of hard for especially single moms to get their kids into those activities, or for even the kids to be interested in the activities sometimes, because sometimes the activities are boring. So, yeah, man, I to be honest, the only thing that I hated about, actually, that ain't have nothing to do with Gloverville. When I grew up, when I got a little older and I stayed with my mom, and my mom's house was the trap house, that's what I hated. But other than that,
other than the obvious, like, what made you hate it, though?
Because I didn't want to be in that environment.
Was it, like, scary, or, like, you always felt like there was a need for, like, anything could happen at any moment?
Definitely. I adore, man, our house used to get raided. And it wouldn't, you know how most crack houses look like I mean, not a crack house. I ain't mean to call it a crack house because it definitely wasn't there. You know how most trap houses look like a trap house?
Right.
Nah, we had a nice house.
You tried to disguise it?
We had a nice house. My cousins all my cousins used to just trap out the house or whatever. And so crackheads coming to the door, house all drug dealers ever, especially when I had my first son. Before I had my first son at 21. And I was still staying with my mom at this time, fresh back home from college. And I never forget, my brother's dead now. My son, up until this point, he had never put anything in his mouth. And just my brother had dropped some crack on the floor. And thank God it was in a bag. And my son picked it up and put it in his mouth. And I was like, yeah, I can't be here no more. I still remember the smell of what crack smelled like being cooked in the microwave. Yeah. So that's why I didn't want, I ain't want that life. I remember my mom, if my mom hear this, she would be so mad at me, but it's just my story, mama. I remember, like, every little boyfriend that I did have, my mom used to smoke. I used to hate my mom because she used to always smoke weed, roll a blunt. So, but that life made me who I am. I'm telling you, man. And even when I got older, and I hope I'm not talking too much, but when I got older, because at first I was trying my best to stay away from that life, but because I grew up in that environment, and I remembered, hey, when times got hard, I didn't have money. I knew how to make that money.
So quick.
So it came back to me, and then that's what I started doing.
So no, for one, I want to say real quick, like, you're not talking too much. This is the part that get people to, because we got an end goal in this anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is the part that intrigues people, because people going to be like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I know the smell of crack when it's cooking, you know what I'm saying? Like, already they're intrigued. And a lot of people don't know that, a lot of people know that smell for real. It's a smell you never forget. Like, you can always tell when you in the area, because I can smell it sometimes just there alone, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, so with the whole the crack thing though, like with your son, I thought that's a good feature, like, to even say, like, that's when you knew, like, I gotta get out of here, because you can see it, like, you can see it something being repeated. You don't want him to have to grow up and have them same ideologies, you know what I'm saying? Like, you said you might have grew up and a lot of things your parents or you was around that happened to you, it shaped who you are.
Definitely.
But I think as a parent, you never want that to shape your kid if you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can shape them differently, you'd rather do it that way, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say this, though. You say your mom gonna hate this story, this your story and stuff like that. Then that's dope. But I always feel like parents or any elders that was living in that kind of lifestyle, at least getting by, how they knew how to get by, I would look at it like, from a positive standpoint, as if like they had to crawl so you could walk type of thing. So like she did that, and it helped me to where I'm at, because like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I respect her and all that stuff, but I don't want to do X,
Definitely.
Y, Z. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely respect my mom. Man, I remember sometimes, especially coming up, my mom made it happen. You get what I'm saying? From times when we ain't have stuff, but my mama always made it happen to where we had stuff. I never felt poor in my life, even though I know we from the hood. You get what I'm saying? I never cared for Jordans and stuff like that, so those weren't the things that I had to have. But I was my own person. But because I saw my mom, how she always was go-getting, that's why I am the way I am. You get what I'm saying? My mom worked her butt off every day, all day. And the crazy thing about it is her husband, which he no longer is, but he was a crackhead. So he was the one, my mama was the breadwinner of the family. You know, sometimes he would take our stuff, or just probably even take our stuff. But at the end of the day, my mama always made sure me and my sister had, and I'm talking about, and even my brother, like I said, my brother's dead now. But I remember, he's not my real brother, he's my sister's boyfriend. But I remember him and my mom always and my uncle Aunt always being there for me, and my auntie Monica. I always had a support system. I don't think if I didn't have a support system in my life, I wouldn't be where I am.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I've achieved or I have arrived, but I'm way better in a whole different mindset than I was when I was younger.
I think that's a big thing to talk about too sometimes. I think a lot of times we have this big, talking to you, you look at life from a reality standpoint, and we look at life from a reality standpoint, you know, like where I guess society would have you to be at.
Yeah.
So and based on your upbringing, your surroundings, where you could be at and versus where you at, it give you a whole different perspective of life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I could be doing this, but I'm doing this. So I might not be necessarily millionaires like that, but I feel very successful because of where I'm at versus where on paper where I'm supposed to be at.
Heck yeah.
You know? So I like that a lot. But I think, like I said, talking to kids, the youth, a lot of times they don't necessarily see it that way. You know what I'm saying? They think it's this quick scheme out. Like you were saying a little while ago, you was like, well, you knew if you needed something, you could do this, that, and third. Yeah. It's a lot of people like that. Like we're not necessarily bad kids, or we don't do negative or things that you're supposed to do on a regular basis, but we just know it sucks, but like we know that's a plan B. You know?
Definitely. And that's why CRYDC, we help kids discover trade skills. You know, just getting them something that they like, whether it be landscaping, whether it be detailing cars, or learning, or even shadowing so they can learn how to cut hair, all those type of things. We help them learn a secondary trade skill. I remember I used to work at Franklin County Public Schools, and I used to work at Pinecrest, and it's crazy because I just seen this young man the other day, and I always tell this story. When I tell you, he probably was one of the baddest kids, you know how we get labeled or whatever. But when he came to my class, he was just, because I always put it like, if you respect me, I respect you. And that's how my class was. I got a little hood in me, so they from the hood, they relate. They relate.
They expect to relate to.
Definitely. That's why I thank God for that. I don't ever want to discredit where I came from. But I remember him being, man, this dude knew so much about computers. But because of his environment, he didn't want to even try to achieve that. But you knew what he knew how to do easy.
Right.
Sell weed and crack. So guess what? That's what he went to. He wasn't getting no business doing the computers.
Right.
But that's exactly why I try to push that on kids these days, man. If you're parents, I hope parents listening, if your kids are good in different avenues, don't try to just make them be good at one thing. Let them experiment. Let them discover who they want to be, instead of just trying to get them, like, we always are quick to give our kid a football or a basketball, which is good. But that same kid might know how to make beats. That same kid might know how to do art or rap or sing or dance or any of that stuff, or weld.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Cut grass. They might be fire at cutting grass, but they'll never know, because you know what most kids are doing now? Playing in the house, playing a game. Yep. We have to teach them stuff to help cultivate who they are.
I want to get into the other stuff, but I want to ask one more thing real quick because the first time I met you, it was at a bullying event, right? Mm-hmm. And you spoke about how you was a bully.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit. Like how'd you like what made you?
What made me a bully?
And what made you a bully? What made you stop? I want to know like that spill. Like
what made me a bully was my environment. I grew up tough, man. I grew up. You don't let nobody hit you. You don't let nobody push you around. All that type of stuff. And because of where I was from, so you might not know Gloverville, but people who, if you ain't living in that Aiken, Graniteville, South Carolina area, trust me, they know. And so I had I don't want to say I don't know, man.
You had a chip on your shoulder or something?
I don't.
Did you see bullying? Like, did you see it?
No, I just knew my family ain't play no games. So that just came with me, with who I was. You get what I'm saying? My family was raised like that. We didn't play no games. You don't let nobody run over you. You don't let people just talk to you in any kind of way. And they still are. Man, my sister is crazy. I got some crazy relatives, I'm telling you. They don't. You look at them wrong and they ready to pop off. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's funny now because my granddad had got into it with this woman who came to his door one time, and he was like, that's all right. My granddaughter on the way, she gonna beat you up, talking about me or whatever. But then he thought about it because I'm no longer like that. He was like, oh man, I gotta call somebody else because she ain't gonna do nothing but pray for you. But yeah, man, that's what my environment made me a bully. A lot of kids, even when they, when you know the schools, when the difference in the school, when you go into the school that's surrounded by the hood versus the school that ain't surrounded. Come on, man, it's all out war. It's get it by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Kill or be killed.
I was gonna ask you, was that the mindset? Like sometimes I think. Well, I know everybody. I had a bullying phase. I never say I was a bully though. Maybe like 1 grade or something like that. But like just a phase where I don't know. You experiment as a kid. Like you just doing it, and then you see like, damn, that's the impact I'm having on doing it. I'm gonna just keep doing it. But I always live vicariously through other people though. So when I saw a bully get taken down one day, I was like, I don't know if I want that. I don't experience that though. So I'm gonna just chill. You know what I'm saying? Because it can happen. So I always just did my own thing. But yeah, as a kid, you're gonna be a product of your environment. If you see bullying being done, and sometimes you don't know you're seeing it being done. You just seeing something, right? But when you outside and you see some older kids and you see like everybody, like say you got 9 kids, say you got 10, but like 9 of them are like all like they'll do things to a certain extent to that one person. Yeah. Technically speaking, I'm looking at that person as a bully because but he could just have respect for all I know. But me being younger in that mindset, I'm like, okay, I gotta be tougher to get that kind of respect. But then you think tougher is going around messing with everybody. Really, it could be just giving everybody respect, Yeah,
I just felt like I don't ever think I felt like I had to fight for my respect. In a sense, it's just like you gonna respect me.
Mm-hmm. Take it, yeah.
And it's crazy because now I teach my kids like about respect, how important it is, especially when I was working at Pinecrest. I keep bringing it up because every child doesn't know what respect is, and we all have different respect levels. The things you might tolerate might not be what I tolerate.
Right.
So you have to be careful what you try to push off on people or what you even try to say to people, because I'm telling you, you never know who will chin check you in a minute.
I'm trying to tell you. So, I'm glad I had to experience that though. Like I think I got in and got out as far as the bullying thing, but they definitely still always demanding respect though. You just, like I said, it depends on who you meet in the product of your environment, and I think we keep saying that, but like it's different ways to look at the product of your environment too. If you meet the person that's a real respectable person, you gonna look at the product of your environment as a different thing.
Definitely.
If you meet the rowdy person, look at it differently. You meet the low bottom feeders who just think they doing this, but they're not really doing it the right way. You're gonna get lost soon, but you're gonna see it from different perspectives. So
definitely,
it's all different when you think of it that way. That's why I say it's all a project, anyways. Everything is all like experimental. You have to like just find your niche. So,
definitely.
But in the bullying thing, I could be tripping if I remember correctly though, because like I said you did it and then you grew up and you did it thing, but you also had experienced that with one of your kids.
Your son was being bullied. Okay. Heck yeah.
And how'd you handle that with you being a bully and then you having your morals and values based off your product or your upbringing? So like I know normally, and we all Black. Hopefully everybody watching, I don't know, but
that's
the thing is, you get hit, how I came up with like this. If it's family, you outside, everything is all like violent sometimes. So it's like, hey, if your cousin fighting, you better come back be fighting, or I'm beating you. Yeah. So like already, if you outside and you have nothing to do with it, but your cousin, you got something to do with it now.
Yeah.
So it's already put in your mindset, right? Or they say, you at school, somebody hit you better hit their ass back.
Yeah.
If I find out you hit them back, I'm gonna beat you. So it's like you really stuck to be tough or get your ass when you get home. So that's what you're up against. So like for you, how did you tackle it now that you are, different and
definitely instilling confidence in all my children. My son, first off, he got bullied by all races. Well, actually, he told me he fit in mostly with the Hispanic kids coming up because my son is very articulate. And so the Black kids called him white, or they would mess with him. And then he
speaks proper.
He speaks very proper.
Gotcha.
And then the white kids, or should I say just all of them in general, but definitely the white kids, because he talk about subjects like if you don't see my shirt, I teach my kids on Black empowerment, loving yourself. I don't talk about politics as much as with them, but my son picked that up on himself. So the conversations that he was wanted to have with kids his age, he was surpassed them in his mindset. So they're like, man, you're weird. Like, don't nobody want to talk about, who want to talk about politics? Who want to talk about STDs or ADHD and all that stuff? Because those are our conversations in our household. You get what I'm saying? So he was a product of his environment.
100%.
The things that I was talking to him about. Mass incarceration. So when he's talking to other kids about this and they're not interested, and he looking like, everybody thinks I'm crazy, Mom. So that, they used.
He just ahead of his time, though. That's all.
Yeah, and that's why I told him to embrace that.
When you're young, though, like it's no, you don't see the perks in that moment of being mature for your age. Yeah. But when they all get like in high school, when they talking about him, like, yo, he was always smart.
And the crazy thing is, he gets that. Like my granddaddy called him Urkel.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Black families is funny because I swear we gonna joke with you the worst before you get outside. So for calling him Urkel is wild, but you would think when he get outside that anything somebody say to him, it shouldn't hurt him.
Yeah, but
that's
see,
funny though.
And that's the thing. That's one of those confidence things that I push to him. First of all, my son is all my kids, they are all intelligent, but they're gonna talk some junk. I'm telling you, because that's just something. I made it in our home to be comfortable, to be in your own skin.
Right.
Don't worry about nobody calling you fat. Like, I jive and joke with my kids. Like, I was at his, because even though he is very mature, he is immature at the same time. He's only 13. Yeah, he's a kid. I don't expect him to be a grown up. We was at the school, and he's getting ready for his 9th grade courses, and the counselor was in there or whatnot, and we was just talking back and forth or whatnot. And at the end of the us getting ready to leave, and the woman was like, you must have been a teacher, because I was able to pick apart what I want, what type of path I wanted him to go on. And I was like, yeah. And my son was like, the worst teacher ever. And the woman got offended. She was like, don't say that about your mama. I was like, nah, this is how we joke around. You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect other people to understand it. But that's just us. And I'm telling you, because of us being able to joke and jive with one another and me instilling confidence, my son don't get moved by people calling him names at school. You get what I'm saying?
That's dope.
It doesn't bother him no more. But when he was younger, it did. He used to ball up into a bubble, be depressed, ready to kill himself over stuff like that. But now, man, you can't move him.
And that's dope. And it's dope to see that you was able to parent him through that. You know what I'm saying? So, especially because you could easily just say, look, go school and beat him up.
That's one of the things that I do in CRYDC, you guys. I'm just had to pitch that out there, but I parent coach. I teach parents how to do that, to deal with behaviors, to modify behaviors, to comfort and love and show, teach their kids in the right direction.
What got you into that?
Growing up. Growing up how I grew up, I didn't get those things. I didn't get life skills. I had to learn life skills. I had to, I'm not saying, like I said, I had a good support team. I did. But at the same time, was my support team really that good? Because a lot of the things that I had to endure, I knew I didn't have to endure. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as you said, they only was doing what they could do with what they were given. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
You just got your knowledge and things off experience, though.
Yeah, experience taught me.
But, I think I always say is, and I always try to, and I see you doing it too, because I always say when you love your family, of course, but, your mindset and how you see things, how you going to see things,
Yeah.
And it's like, I love them to death, they did this, that, and third. I feel like we didn't have to do that, but because they did that, I was able to see things this way. So if they didn't do that, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Definitely.
So it's always like take the good with the bad,
Definitely.
So let's talk a little about what you do. I'm getting to that now. I think everybody know you your background now. I liked it. I like that.
I was terrible, man.
But see, the good thing is we like. I think how it manifests here, like we know it's an end goal with this. So even listening to it, I think they kind of anticipating, okay, what would change? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, what was it like? What, before I get into that last part, what was it that actually changed? Like, I'm not trying to do this. I'm gonna do X, Y, Z.
2 things changed my life. I had started selling drugs. Actually, I was selling weed, and I was getting pretty big at selling weed. I had started moving the pounds, and I had this guy who I was getting it from, because what I learned, the people in South Carolina was selling it higher than the people that was in Georgia. So I was getting it cheap from a plug that I had met. And the crazy thing about it is I started trying to put other people on, but I would never let them know who my plug was. So one day, a homeboy of mine, he goes and he introduces me to this one guy. I didn't really know him, so my guard kind of up, but he had purchased from me a couple times, and I didn't know that he was trying to set my plug up. And good thing that regardless of what I was doing, I always had character. You know what I'm saying? I always treated people right. I learned that because at first, remember I told you those bullying days, but I learned to treat people right when you handling business. So thank God, because the guy who was my plug, he came to me. Well, actually, he called me. He was like, somebody from such and such. And I was like, yeah. He was like, y'all supposed to be setting me up. And I was like, nah, I would never do that. And it's crazy that he was even telling me this, but it's because of the bond that we had established. Because he was like, I was going to shoot your house up.
Yeah, right,
and
right.
Mind you, I'm staying in Dogwood Terrace at this time. That's the hood. You get what I'm saying? So I staying in Dogwood Terrace, I seen people get shot up and killed out there.
You said Gloverville? That's why I thought of Dogwood Terrace. I don't know why. I just thought of it for some reason. But yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, man, I wasn't, and I got kids. I got 2 kids. I was like, heck no, this is it. I'm not doing this no more. And most people be like, you gonna charge that to the game, and kept on. Heck nah. I thought about my kids. Yeah. But
bigger picture.
Yeah, and the second one is I started going to church. I got into a good church, a church that teach the word of God, a church that I started being for the first time in my life. During that time, that was my first time actual meeting a real Christian. And I know you probably like, what's a real Christian?
Yeah, I ain't never seen one. I'm playing.
But I'm for real, a person who actually try to live to the standard of what they telling you, and not just always trying to look down on you. Get what I'm saying? Somebody who don't tell you don't be out here smoking weed, but and then the next breath they out here smoking weed. You get what I'm saying? I had never met a Christian like that, and that was my pastor. He's probably not saying it to nobody else, because I don't expect nobody to be perfect. I'm not even perfect. But my pastor was the first person I ever seen in that, and he helped me grow, to be honest. So those 2 things helped change my mindset.
All right, cool. So now we got the background, the validity out the way. Talk about, your organization and what y'all do now.
Yes. So as I mentioned, the focus of CRYDC is to retrain the mindset of the youth from street life to heat life. But I work a lot with parents. Parent coaches is the number one thing that I do outside of behavior modification and counseling the youth. I counsel the parents as well. But because a lot of the times, and I know people hate to hear this, but it's the truth, 95% of the time, the reason why the kids behave the way they kids because of the parents, because of the environment that they're in, and the parents allowing them to do and get away with things that they shouldn't be allowed to do. So I just help them I coach them first, and then I show them how to apply the things to their lives so their household can be better. And I also motivational speak in different places. And like I said, when kids are misbehaving, those are most of the kids that come to me. The parents, they're having a problem. So that's why I say behaviors. Right. Get them set up with a trade skill, something that like, just getting them involved, something that they're like. I'll give you an example. My oldest son, he's always getting the character development part about it because I instill in him the character development. But trade skills, and he always gets that too. But this particular summer, he was sneaking on. I don't allow my kids. This is one of the things that I try to teach parents as well. I don't allow my children to be on electronics during the week. They can watch TV every now and then. They just got that when my son got in the 7th grade, because other than that, they didn't, because it allows them to stay focused.
Right.
I don't have issues with my kids doing their chores. I don't have issues with my kids and their grades because they know their incentive is playing the games on the weekend.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So those are the things. But because he wasn't allowed to get on the games during the week, and it's going near summertime, he's getting older now. You get what I'm saying? So his friends are doing these things, so he wanted to start sneaking. And how I handled it, I started getting him into trade skills. And I didn't have that problem no more. He started being around. He started working at the barbershop.
Okay.
And at the barbershop, his mind was nowhere near on games after that. You get what I'm saying? He was around a lot of grown men, learning how to, whether it was him sweeping floors, taking out trash, or watching them do fades, whatever he was doing. He was like, "Mama, I'm loving this." So I didn't have the issue, and that's how we redirect their minds. So that's,
I think that's dope. I was gonna ask you, like, cause do they have cousins and anything like that? Your kids? So like, how do they feel like them not being able to be on electronic during the week, but their cousins might be able to? Like, do you ever get that vibe, like you're the strict mom or something like that?
And it's crazy because if my kids were here, they would tell you that. And I'm serious because I've heard them say, I'm not strict. They just know that I love them and I want to see what's best for them. Because I goof around, I play with my kids. We have family game nights. We do all that type stuff. But when it comes to their education and their well-being, I put that as a priority. But if some of my family members are listening to this, I've said this, so I don't care if they feel some type of way because I've made it known. My kids, sometimes it's gotten a little better over the years. Well, over this year, when they go around, they are outcasts. They are because they're please and thank you, yes ma'am, no ma'am type situation.
Well mannered.
Yeah. They still kids. Now, I ain't trying to sit up here and put them on a pedestal. But my grandma always tell me the difference of my kids and the other kids. Even when I come around the other kids, they know my tolerance versus the others.
Not to cut you off, that's why I asked you that, because I'm thinking about me. Normally I don't insert myself in this, right? But I had a cousin, and they listen to the podcast. They listen to it. That's fine, whatever. I'm like, you not having to give a cadence, but like my cousin, his mom was. When I came up, we wasn't that strict. When you're young, you think strict. You can't play games. Oh, your mom is strict. That's what we think, right? And so I know we could play games and stuff like that, right? But like he was like doing things like at 4 years old he could swim. She put him in all the stuff. He could swim at 4 years old. Played instruments, you know what I'm saying? Was in karate class, doing all this extracurricular activity stuff, right? And it's not to say that I don't think that she did anything wrong, whatever. But it's almost like at some point, somehow, some way, it's like he just didn't want to do it no more.
Yeah.
You know, like he wanted to do the stuff that. And honestly, it was bad stuff, but like us being kids, we had already did it and kind of knew we didn't like doing that. But I think he never got to feel like I'm gonna do it and see if I don't like it. He did it and then went full throttle.
And that's why I talk about in my program, my parenting program, the different types of parents, the disciplinarian.
Gotcha.
And those type of parents, when you're super strict, and then the kid, they be smart as a whistle and they excel in all these areas, but they're dealing with depression. They're afraid to make mistakes or whatever. My parenting style is authoritative. Yes, I have rules. That's just a part of kids need rules. Kids need rules and structure.
Right.
Period. That's what helped them excel. But I give my kids have identity. My kids are able to make decisions.
That's important. Identity. Yeah.
I give them room to make decisions. I give them room to be who they are. Because I believe that's an important part of them growing up.
Well, you just said something that was important. I think too, in the situation I'm talking about, I don't know if he ever had room. That makes sense. Not saying that, I'm not putting on his mom and like that. I really can't tell where it went wrong. Yeah. But I know it was somewhere, like you said, in mixture with the parenting and the product of the environment. You know, I will say that. Well, I want to ask you like kind of like some situational question, but like, what would you like? Could you said earlier that 95% of the time it's kind of the parents and the product in your environment, and it could be both, or it could be just one affecting the other. So like, what would you say? Like, how would you tackle somebody who was pretty much the majority of a good kid? You know what I'm saying? And I guess that would be parenting too. 'Cause I was thinking like, let me ask you this question. Let me ask it this way. Okay, so for parenting, right? Let's say you said kids need rules and stuff like that, and I agree. But let's say you got a kid who does well in school, he does good, whatever. So sometimes he do get in trouble here and there. You really don't reprimand them, whether it's a spank, whatever you do. You don't do it because to you it's kind of like quote unquote out of character for him to do that, you know. But then what happens is I feel like because I was a good kid, I was that kid. Like you know what you can get away with, so like you just do it in a smoother way. I
did a video on this this exact topic. If you ever go onto my CRYDC page on Facebook, it's at CRYDC19, you guys. I have a video where I talk about this. First of all, I don't think it's a difference between a good kid or a bad kid. I don't like to use those terms. I only use those terms because those are what people relate to. The difference between a good kid and a bad kid is the bad kid got caught. Period. Because all kids gonna be sneaky. Y'all know how we were when we were younger.
Right.
But I think when a parent should be consistent. Consistency is what break behaviors. The example that I gave is if the child is one day jumping on the bed and you reprimand them, you tell them to stop or whatever, and then the next day because you're tired or you're busy and they're jumping on the bed and you do nothing because you think it's okay this day, going along with what you're saying, you're letting them know that, okay, all I'm going to do is get taught at, or I know when she busy or she lazy, she ain't going to say nothing to me. You're teaching them when and where you're going to say something. Kids know what buttons to push. They know when you're going to go off. They know not to mess with you when you're mad. You get what I'm saying? But you shouldn't even have to go that far. When you say no doing this, it should be no doing that. But that comes with consistency. When kids see you being consistent, they know, okay, my mom ain't gonna let me do that off the rip. And they'll tell other kids. I've had, and it's crazy because we have gone out of the era where kids are afraid of their parents. I'm not saying I want them to be, oh my God, shaking in their boot, but I'm talking about reverence, as in respect. Oh, I ain't doing that because my mama kill me. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I heard I have a girl in my because I teach. I'm a youth leader as well. She's like the only one in my class who will say, I ain't doing that. My daddy killed me. Everybody else be like, man, when they ain't around, it's like, Like I said, you don't want your kids to be that afraid of you because you want them to be able to make the decisions on their own. But your consistency should be so strong that they know, oh, my mom ain't gonna allow that. Just like you, if you know somebody is consistent in what they're doing, when somebody come bring you a lie about them, you be like, no, I know that person. Right. Yeah.
But you made a good point though, because like coming up, I don't know. I think I'm not saying it can't be done, but I do think it's somewhat easier said than done, because obviously if you're working and you are tired, like, you're gonna be tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate the fact that like your kid might know you're tired, but you know, like you're not gonna be always alert. You know?
Yeah.
I guess maybe you compare around that getting tired. I don't know how you would do that, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It was time like you said, the smoking weed, something like that, right? So I know my mom's, and I know they in the room. Like, okay, we can do what we want to do today, because they ain't coming out. If they do it, she might just say something and go, she too tired now. You know what I'm saying? But if she was mad, she came from work, or she called on the phone like, clean the house, I know she was mad. Make sure she clean up, because she mad today. She gonna come checking this stuff.
I guarantee you, your child knows you more than you know your child. See, we think we know everything about our child, and none of us do, because we don't know what our kids will do when we ain't around. But our kids study us. They know when we are, however we are. They come on, you was a kid. You know when your parent go in the room, they ain't coming back out. Yeah. You know when they know this.
When you're younger, I don't think you know like detail, but you just it's a vibe you pick up.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm thinking about it now, even me being grown, like if I'm on the phone, you know, like what your kids do while you're on the phone, because they know you're not paying attention, you're on the phone. Or if I'm editing something, and I noticed that like they'll be quieter when I'm editing, so he ain't gonna come out if he don't hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like they know how to work around you, or how to you know work to not get noticed by you, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, you're right.
And when we're in our phones all the time, this is another thing I tell parents: stop being on the phone so much and give your child attention. When we're on our phone so much, we're allowing them to do whatever they want to do then. And a lot of times, like my daughter, and I was kind of and y'all ain't gonna agree. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I'm telling you, my kids are better for it. I don't let my kids do social media at all. My oldest son is 13. He'll be 14. And I told him when he turns 16, I'll let him get on social media. It's because of the impact that so many young kids commit suicide because of social media. They're cyberbullied, all that type of stuff. I don't want them to experience that. And I don't shelter them from it. I actually introduce them to it. But I'm not finna give them the tool to kill themselves. You get what I'm saying? I'm not finna give them the gun. So my son, I took his... Oh, Lord, I don't want to say this because it sounds so mean. It's just parents sometimes don't want to parent.
Right.
That's just what it is. And we find anything that attract their attention so we don't have to parent. I have missed opportunities where I could have gone somewhere because if my child is on punishment, oh no, you're not going on vacation. And some people don't understand that, and they like, that's being hard. No, because I'm letting you know that I'm feeling this too because of your decision. You get what I'm saying?
That's a good way. That's a good way to show them that their behaviors affect everybody around them. When you think about later on, because I always say, when not saying that I wish this on your child like that, but when somebody go to jail, everybody do the time. Yeah, not just the person in jail. You know what I'm saying? Right. But sometimes people don't know that until they actually in jail. So like not to compare to the jail, but he's on punishment. You know what I'm saying? So now your punishment is affecting everybody else around you. So I want you to feel that as well. So when you make decisions, you know you're affecting everybody. Definitely. So I like that. That's hold them accountable. It's hard to do that though. It's definitely hard to do. Yeah. I can't say everybody's gonna do that, but I definitely get why you do it though, or why you did it. Yeah. But I can see what you're saying. People might say it's strict because obviously people like say it was a family trip. The family probably like just let them go. You know what I'm saying? But you like. You don't, to you, it's just let them go. But to me, I'm thinking about something totally different. You don't understand how many parents I have. Well, I have both spectrums. The people that's around, like my mama, my grandparents, my granddaddy, but I'll say my grandma. It's mothers mostly, because mothers they have a heart of a second chance. That's just a mother, period. We like to give chances and chances, but that's not good. For our kids when we keep giving chances, because life doesn't give you that many chances. You get what I'm saying? So my mama and my grandma, sometimes they be like, you so mean, but then they'll be like, but what you doing in work? And I'm not so mean. I wish my kids were here. Matter of fact, when kids see me, and anybody who knows me that's watching, they run to me. Kids love me, and I'm the same way with my kids that I am with all kids. So if your kid comes to my house during a weekday, guess what your kid ain't gonna be doing? On playing games. Playing games on the man, I'm telling you. But when we stop
trying to be their friend and love. I don't judge my kids. My kids are so open with me. I don't care. I ain't gonna even just use my kids. Kids are open with me. Grown-ups are open with me because I have a judge-free zone. I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. You know what I mean? But I love people where they're at, and I let people be exactly who they are. And I don't take that from my kids. I think that's why my kids love so hard, and they love me so hard because they know what I'm doing, the things that I do, even if it is a form of discipline. I'm teaching them. You know what I'm saying? My kids, like I told you, they know how to do every chore in the house. They know how to cut grass. My youngest son, his dad is me and him was talking about being a part of what I do as far as the trade part. My son is learning how to do the gutters. He was with his dad the other day learning how to fix stuff in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? They need those skills. And
can I ask, because I seen that a lot, can I ask you, like, as far as getting trades, the gutters, the other electrical, plumbing, stuff like that, can you tell people why you feel like that's important, especially for black kids to know, or just young kids in general, the youth to know?
For one, I don't push college, even though I went to college. I'm actually in college getting my master's right now. I graduate next year. But I push trade skills because you'll always need something to fall back on. I don't care if you're working for a Fortune 500 company and that company collapsed. If you know how to cut hair, guess what you could be doing the next day? You know what I'm saying? There's many times in my life that I lost jobs, and I started doing hair, makeup, all those type things. Those helped me get through. And not only that, the biggest things that I push on my kids are working for yourself and not having to work for nobody else. This is my first year solely working for myself, and I'm so glad that I was able to attain that. And is it hard? Heck, yes. There are days where I don't have $1 in my pocket, but I love the flexibility and the comfort of working for myself. So when they learn these trades at a young age, not when they get older, they learn these trades at a young age, they can go out and start being a landscaper, right. Making their own money in their own pocket. And to be honest, the way the drug game is set up right now, you could be making more money.
Yeah, ain't no money in drugs.
Yeah, you can make more money.
Yeah. It's scamming the new thing now.
Facts.
But I do want to say one thing. I feel like with the learning trades, when I had the same thought maybe like 10 years ago, I was like, I think the school's got the right mindset, especially down in the South, right? Cause I moved down here.
The school got the what?
No, I'm gonna say it's the right mindset. They just got the execution wrong. The mindset is right because when they asked me, I said, "What you want to do? You want to be tech prep or college prep?"
Definitely.
Right. I ain't never had no intention of going to college. I was really smart, but I never had intention of going to college. Yeah. But I was like, but this is how they described it to me. They told me this. They said, with college prep, they said with tech prep, you don't take foreign language. Yeah. College prep, you do. That was their description of it. So it was nothing about college, technical school, college, university. They told me Spanish or not. I'm like, I don't want to speak Spanish.
I got the same thing.
So we on tech prep, right? Cool. What I ended up doing? Going to college. Yeah. But that's another story. So I had to take foreign language, and anyway, and I failed the first time, but regardless. The thing I was saying is, when I was in tech prep, we have these automotive classes, these quote-unquote trade school classes, right? In those classes, we go there. It's usually a class you're going to pick at the end of the day, because if you're a senior, you get to go home because you're going to pass anyway. And you go there, they ask you to write these words down. It's like 10 words you get a day. You define them, and then class is over.
Wow, that's sad.
That's tech prep. I don't want to say the school, but it was a bunch of schools that was like that.
Let me tell you, South Carolina, I know the Aiken area, and I can't speak for Georgia, but I believe they have one as well. They have a career center where they learn different trade skills, whether it be automotive, nail tech, cosmetology, media design, automotive. I don't know if I said that already. All you can learn how to be a paralegal, a cop, all that stuff, and you get your licensure at the end of the course. So from 9th to 12th grade, you're
getting trained.
Yeah, you're getting trained, and then you get your licensure. And they have this Aiken Works. You go straight to work. From high school. Some grown-ups haven't even Matter of fact, they have a program where kids are already in college while they are in high school. You know what I'm saying? So times have changed. But these kids are already, with the knowledge that they're learning, just imagine if they were taught to put that in themselves and not have to work for anybody else. All that money goes to you. Of course, you give Uncle Sam some, and yes, it's hard, but you're not being an asset to somewhere else. You're being an asset and making minimum of what they're making. You're making so far less versus you being an asset to yourself and you making all of that.
That's kind of the point I was gonna make too. Like with all that, it's like when my last year, I had no plans on going to college, but they were pushing college so much. They pushed college so much. This person gonna talk to you. This person gonna talk to you. This person gonna talk to you. Career day, all that stuff. The guidance counselor pulling you out of class. Hey, why you not applying for school? I don't want to go. But you got this GPA. You should go. Do this. Apply for this. They pushing this stuff, right? And like nobody ever pushed the trade and stuff. But what happens is when you think about the trading and all that, like you can come out of school 19, 18, whatever, how old you are, 17 for me. You come out of high school, you can make more money than your parents if you got the right trade. Fact. But they push school so much and it just really put you in debt versus putting you over the top. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have, I would say, even my job now, I make good money now. But like, I would tell them, I said, yo, if I knew how to install toilets, I wouldn't work at all. I install 3 toilets a day. I'm good. You can get almost $100 per toilet or per hour just installing toilets.
I tell my mom this now. I don't know nobody. I don't know, and I'm being serious. I don't know anybody who cleans better than my mama. I don't know anybody who cleans better than my mom. And my mom is a habitual cleaner. I'm telling you. And I'm like, Mama, instead of working and getting, I'm not saying she makes this much because I don't know exactly how much she makes. Instead of getting paid $9 an hour working for somebody else, you could your own cleaning business. Do you know how much money you can make? Do you know how many people would not
double that?
Yeah, who don't want to clean their house?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just the mindset. Like you said, being a product of your environment, what you're taught in your environment is eventually what you'll become, you know.
And also it's an experience, like I said, like you said, identity, right? I don't push really nothing. I just kind of give people information on certain things. If you want to work for somebody, if you don't work for somebody, it's really on you. But I do feel like the experience is going to change that. Like you seen Q just came in here. He worked for the same company I worked for a long time. Now he's doing his own thing. Yeah. He can go come and please as he wants to. You know, he can go get hungover. He'd be all right the next day because he got on his own. He on his own schedule, versus somebody who can't. But they might be okay with that as well. If you're okay with it, cool. But just the information is out there, and it's
definitely. And that's.
But I'm like you. I don't push college. I finished college. I want my kids to finish college. Yeah. If I choose to want them to go. But I want them to choose. You know what I'm saying? If they choose to go, cool. If they don't,
I agree.
We're going to do something else.
So you like me in that sense.
I just want to have it so that I got the credentials to say, look, well, I did this. If you want to do it, cool. But you also, I got the credentials to tell you not to go either.
My kids think it's so awesome that I'm in school, man.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, they laugh at me. Well, I just graduated like with my bachelor's last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And they laugh at me because they were like, you still in school? But at the same time, they respect it. My kids read. I'm not trying to brag on my kids, y'all. I'm just telling y'all the influence that we have. That's my main goal today, is to get you to understand the influence you have on your kids as a parent. That's
what I like, though. Like everything you're saying, I like that, because regardless of whether somebody agree with the tactics or not, I know listening to this conversation, they're gonna take something from it. Like, you know what? Some parents, I'm gonna tell you right now, some parents, they probably gonna draw the line like, okay, that social media thing, not social media, the game thing, I can't do. Yeah. Because some parents, like you said, a lot of us, we all be lazy. We'll give a kid a tablet so that we can get 30 minutes apiece. Mm-hmm. And I much respect to you, but if they take the consistency part you talk about as well, you might can get by on that, but being consistent, like whether you consistent with reprimanding or whatever you want to do. I just feel like everything you said, and we talk about your kids, it kind of embody everything you're talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like, it's not like you just blowing smoke saying this, that, and third. You really living by what you're talking about. Yeah, and it's even good to do for the first of the year, because like everybody have these things they want to do. How I want to get better at doing this. How I want to get better at doing that. It's always for self. Definitely. We don't think about how can I parent better. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. How can I get more in tune with my children, you know what I'm saying? Which you might feel like you are in tune, but you can never be too in tune, you know what I'm saying? Because probably a lot of things your mother probably don't know you feel. Yeah. Just because you like, I can't tell her that. But the more comfortable with your kids are with you, the more you know.
That comes with relationships.
Right.
And that's what I try to
Gotta
get
build
parents to understand, that a lot of times when we're on these tablets and on these games and doing, I'm working and they're doing this, when we don't have a conversation and talking and loving on, and people don't understand how important just touch is. Just to be able, touching and hugging.
I grew up on that.
You know how many kids don't get that?
Yeah, right.
You know how many kids who go in their room and their parents go in their room and they don't have conversations because everybody's on the phone? Yeah. It takes away relationships. So things that you shouldn't even have to overreact on, you overreact on because there's no relationship there.
I'll say this though, my mom was like that. Her mother worked a lot. Granted, it worked out for her grandma. She came back to the South, bought a house, retired, took care of two of her grandkids as her own. So it worked out. It was cool, right? My mother always had the emptiness, like, I never really received love from you, but you provided for me.
Yeah.
You made sure I was straight. I had the bare minimum. I never had to want for nothing, but I didn't feel love. So she gave us a lot of love, right? Yeah. But I remember one time, and I was old. I'm older, so one time, and you just said something that made me think about this. It's about the relationships. She would call from work. I could tell when she had a good day, a bad day. You could tell by because you start knowing your parent, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, make sure y'all all the stuff done. Da da da." She ain't staying in a mean way, just in a nice way. Like, I want to have a movie night. We can watch a movie. Da da da. And we watched Claudine. I don't know if you know that movie. We watched Claudine, and with Diane Carroll, and like she got all these kids, and she on Section A, right? We wasn't on that though, but just putting it out there.
Ain't no wrong with Section A.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I want to hit him like I wasn't on Section A.
Yeah.
Cause we're watching it. I said she was when we watched it. And I didn't know we wasn't. But anyway, it was just more so just us seeing in a depiction of like what she going through. She's working. She's trying to provide for this. She's also trying to live her own life.
Yeah.
You know, and she go through a lot, so she need us to like do our chores, step up. You know what I'm saying? Like pick me up when I'm down. I'll pick y'all up when y'all down, type of thing. But I always say that movie means so much to me, not because of the movie, but because of her doing that. You know what I'm saying? So anytime I see black women that's doing a lot, I always say, yo, you should watch Claudine with your kids. Yeah. I don't know why. I just felt like it got to me, you know?
Let me tell you something. Before I say this, I'm going to say this because I feel like it needs. I have nowhere in this conversation Bass having a job. If a job is a way of means for you, please do that. I'll push the entrepreneurial mindset. But one time when I was going through, because I'm divorced now, divorcing, but when I was with my husband before and he left me the first time, I let my kids see me feel. I don't think, that's why a lot of kids don't know how to handle their emotions, because we try to keep them away from them. Yeah. And then the one emotion that we always show is anger. Yeah, so most kids know how to be mad, but they don't know how to deal with sadness. They don't know how to deal with even whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? So I used to tell them, I said, if you see mommy crying, come hug me. Letting them know that it's okay to give affection to somebody, if they're sad. And man, my kids, I always, when you're growing up and you told, don't cry, you better not, nah. It's okay to cry, but you shouldn't be crying about everything. Why are you crying? Let's figure out why you crying.
That's a good.
That's why I said it's good to have conversation, relationship. Do you know how many parents don't know that their kid probably wanted to commit suicide is because their relationship wasn't there? You know how you said you picked up on your mom's attitude? Some people don't even know how to pick up on that. They think just because if they're not depressed that they're not suicidal. Man, there'd be some kids who will smile all day in your face and still be on the brink of suicide.
I seen something the other day in this set. I thought it was dope. It's mostly for men, not men, but mostly for grown-ups. But they said a lot of times you don't even know you're depressed till it's over because you were so busy trying to not look at it or trying to fight through it. Yeah. So sometimes it takes people to really know you to like, yo, you all right? Because sometimes you don't know you're not all right until somebody asks you. You're like, damn, I ain't all right. But you're so busy moving and it's like a defense mechanism, so you have to face the problem. As kids, though, they don't know that stuff. They don't know what mechanisms is until they get older. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think relationships is important. My mom used to do that a lot of times. She's like, you all right? Sometimes like, why she always ask me this? Definitely. Why you keep asking me for my eye? Like, you get annoyed, but she know I'm like my dad, so she probably, now you got out of your dad way. Like, when he make that face, something's wrong. Yeah. And she could be right. I just won't tell her, but it's like, damn, how you know? You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah, mom's is cool.
Shout out to your mom. And see, that's how my kids feel about me. Like, other kids do too. They were like, man, your mom cool.
I always had a cool mom every time.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we need to be like our kids' friends. Like I said that again. I'm not saying be their friend, but be their support.
Definitely.
My youngest son, like I told you, He plays foot. I support everything. If they believe in themselves, I believe in them. You want to play? Okay, you want to play football? All right. Well, you're gonna be doing this. You need to go to camp. You need to be better. You need to do what you need to do. You want to rap? Okay, so you want to rap? All right, I'll get you some studio time. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. But you got to show me that you want it. All right, you want to sell your art? All right, well, let's start selling your art. You want to make beats? You want to sing? You want to dance? And I'm saying these things because these are what my kids do. I support them in anything that they want to do as long as I see them going for it.
And I think that's even the new way of parenting. Like, just talking about parenting was so taboo back in the days, you know. Just, you couldn't even give advice on somebody parenting back in the day because the thing was, raise your kids how you raise your kids. Don't raise mine. That's
so back in the day? I think that's more so now.
Well, no, back in the day to me it's like I'm talking about the 90s. I ain't talking about like 70s, 80s. I went around, so I can't say what they did. I mean, like, no, I know you're not. I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking like 90 because I'm talking about what I've seen. I ain't talking about like what I heard because I can't speak for the 80s or the 70s and like that. I do think it was more like community based back then than it is now. So I'm talking about, like, when I say back then, I think I'm not old. I guess I'm thinking I'm old or whatever, right?
You know.
But I'm thinking like that. So, but I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like that trend, that whole era, like the 90s, 2000s era, was like, it was like a lot of a selfish era anyway. Like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I ain't. They had the right mindset, but just the wrong way about it. Yeah. Like, it's okay to do your own thing, but you still gotta make sure you help your neighbor out. You know, reach out and touch and stuff like that. So, I think back then it was just like, I don't want to do this, so I'm gonna isolate myself. But really, don't isolate yourself because then it's people around you that need to see that, so we can all, you know, progress and get better. My
ex-husband, he was famous for getting on to me when I got on to other people's kids. Like, if I see people kids in public and they're cussing, I'm like, you don't see grown-ups right here? He like, babe, you can't say stuff to other people. Yes, I can. But when those kids see me, you know what they do? They respect me. Yep. I ain't gonna say, I know I can't cuss around her, but what we do is we let it, we're inconsistent all across the board. I don't care if it comes to if y'all see my kids out there misbehaving, I ain't saying put your hands on them, but let them know, you know, you don't supposed to be doing that. We're afraid to do that. Yeah, and that's why they think they can do anything that they want to do.
But you know what? I say this, anytime that happened to me, like, it just wasn't a lot, but when it did, it always stuck with me that happened. Yeah. Whether I was mad at the time or not, you know what I'm saying? Because you're young, like, talk to me for, you know what I'm saying? But as you go, you always, you don't forget it. Yeah. But that person may not never know because they only remember that time, you know, and I probably didn't give you the respect you wanted, but it helped me with somebody else because that person ain't gonna hit me or ain't gonna bother me because they just gonna talk me right. Yeah. But it helped me for when I'm around somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Or when I'm somewhere else that I probably shouldn't be saying this and third, I'm looking like, tell my homeboy, like, chill, don't curse this person over there. You know what I'm saying? But that person that stopped me don't know that it helped me, but it did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just because in real time you don't see the benefits of it, don't think that you ain't do nothing. Exactly. The impact probably go way longer than, way further than, you know, people from New York impact me from that, and I'm down here. They probably don't know that though, but them speaking out. Right now I'm understanding it. You know what I'm saying? I might understand when I was younger. But you said something, I wanted to make sure, you mentioned anger, and you said letting your kids see that emotion and saying, if I'm crying, hug me. I saw a meme the other day, yesterday, matter of fact, it was really dope. It was like how, I can't think of word for word, but it says something to the effect of, I think it's really manipulative or just wrong that the only mood that seems to carry over truth is anger. Mm-hmm. So like that one time I'm mad, but you're gonna judge me off of, but not the many times I was nice. Yeah. You know, a lot of times they say, when people show you true colors, believe them. Yeah. So I must have been fake the whole first 5 months of me knowing you, but that one time I had a bad day, that's my true colors. That's messed up. Yeah. And I don't know why that just stuck with me. I never seen that meme, but I think about, like, that is messed up. The one time somebody do something mad, you think that's them for real, but really that could have been them having a bad day. Or
usually, most of the time, it's build up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, especially when we're in a household with people. Most of the time, it's build up. It's not just a bad day, which granted we do have bad days, but sometimes when you know how it is when you stay in the house with somebody. After a while, you like, all right, man.
No, I already know. I'm really chill. So when I don't get chill and I start getting annoyed, then something's wrong. If I start showing it something wrong, then
And that's why it's important that we teach our children how to handle their emotions. And matter of fact, I have a video about that on my CRYDC page as well.
Do you plan on doing that? Like, do you plan on doing more videos? Like, what's some plans you got to, like, in the works as far as, like, with the youth? Like,
definitely.
how you plan to reach out to them, or are you gonna do events?
Yes, I got a couple. I don't want to talk too much.
Yeah, you ain't gotta tell me the actual events, but like, just some thoughts you have as far as like reaching out to them.
Definitely,
because this is a good conversation. I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. So
I have my first event is a parenting seminar. I had a webinar during COVID, but I have a parenting seminar coming up, and I'll let you know that date. I'll at you on Facebook or whatever social media platform. And then I also have some youth events coming up. Nerds rule the world. Like I told you, I embrace weirdness. I don't think that's the same science. Man, getting our kids involved in science and tech, that's where the money is at. And so the Nerds Rule the World event is centered around science and tech, letting them know that science isn't boring, man. Science is actually fun. They actually have a science thing in Myrtle Beach. Oh my God. I forget the name of it, but please take your kids, where they learn so much about energy and science and matter and all those type of things. And it makes them want to be scientists. You know, I love to see Black people spread out amongst all things, you know. And we should be diverse. We're not just good in athletics. We're good in everything, because that's our creation. Earlier,
I thought about that. You said basketball and football, and I was like, imagine. I know it's gonna sound corny, but because it's always gonna sound corny because it's not sports. But imagine, like, you can give your kid a ball in a football. Imagine you give them a white jacket to put on. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you give them stethoscopes, or, you know what I'm saying, something to fit a heartbeat. Like, kids like that as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things we can put in their hands to make them want to do something too.
Definitely.
But a lot of time we watching sports, so they want to do that. But
definitely, and there's nothing wrong with sports. Like I told you, I have a son who plays football and basketball. But dang, what I was gonna say, it just.
I just want to say with the sports thing, because you might catch me when I say this, but I got a brother who plays sports, and like I said, he got a degree. He's not in debt and nothing like that. Like, he got a good. He don't think he got a good, because obviously they want to make it to the league, and they feel like, I'm not there. I ain't nothing, right? And now you give him time to, you know, of course he get that time to, you know, reevaluate his life, what he want to do. But I'll tell him, like, you got a degree and you have to pay nothing. Yeah. So you might think sports wasn't it for you, but mommy had to pay nothing at all. I've been to California, I've been to Florida, I've been in these big hotels because of you. Like, a lot of people owe you. You don't know it. You know what I'm saying? You're not in debt. But I would say like, any kid that's playing sports now, I'm not saying don't have big dreams and like that, but also use it as a tool to get where you destined to be. Yeah. Because if you're destined to be in the NBA, you're gonna be in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree.
But you might not be destined to be there. You know what I'm saying? You could be a good player. A lot of people that's really, really good in playing the NBA. Yeah. But they had to do what they were destined to do. Sometimes that's just a tool to get you where you gotta go. That's right. You might meet somebody along the way that you wouldn't have met if you didn't play basketball.
And I don't brush anything that a kid wants to do. Like I told you, I had my son. I keep going back to this, but I'm just giving to it in relation. My son raps. I don't. You know how some people be like, oh, you don't need to rap. Rappers come up every day. Even. Man, these kids can get rich in the palm of their hands.
Now, definitely, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So we should.
Your oldest son rap?
No, that's my youngest son. But my oldest son, man, he does videos. He does the beats. He does all that type of stuff, and just putting the right tools in their hands to where they're wanting to do these things. You know, if they got a desire for it, I don't think we should discriminate them and tell them, oh, you can't be that, or you.
I definitely say, like, especially among Black kids, mainly from my experience, I definitely say the more diverse they are, a lot of things, the better, because you never know who they're gonna run into. And like, you think because you only play basketball, cool, but like what if somebody do want somebody that make beats, and you didn't make beats because you play ball all your life, you know? I just feel like the more diverse you are, the better you are when you get into the real world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I always tell my kids to embrace the opportunities, because as Miles Monroe said, the richest place is the graveyard, man. You don't know how many businesses or how many open opportunities that you had that you could have walked into that you didn't allow somebody else get into because you didn't walk into your purpose. Right. Yeah, so it's important that we don't just say, here, if you can't, I don't want you to do that. Man, you never know what your child excel at if you just give them the tools. Yeah.
And it's funny because off air we was talking, and it just kind of made something to go with what you said, and you asked me how I got started, all this stuff, but it always started with my brother. You know what I'm saying? He played sports, so like, you know, I couldn't be doing this if he didn't do what he did. So a lot of times you never know. Like, it all kind of kind of coincide. You never know why things happen the way it happen. You just kind of do what you got to do and find your niche. So
yeah,
that's dope, man. But as far as like if somebody wanted to like reach out to you and just they got questions, like do you do that? Like how can they reach to you? How can they find you and stuff like that?
I actually get DM'd so many questions about parenting. A lot of parents are private with that, and they don't want people to know that they have to go get those sources. But don't limit yourself, you guys. If y'all need assistance in any way when it comes to learning your children or even learning some things about yourself, because I pull so much stuff out of parents. The reason why they inflict the things that they do on their kids is because of the trauma that they went through, you know what I'm saying, as a child. So don't be afraid to go get assistance, you guys. But you can reach me on Facebook under my personal handle, Dominique Simpkins, or at CRYDC19. I'm also on Instagram at Beautiful Ray of Light. And I just got a Snapchat, and I'm gonna update my name, y'all, but on Snapchat at Dom Got a Snap, and I just got a TikTok. I'm not a TikTok person, but
not yet.
I just got on TikTok, so we'll see what comes of that. But my phone number is 706-691-7307. If you guys need anything with parent coaching, motivational speaking, counseling, whether it be for you or your child or both, behavior modification, come see me.
1 second.
Oh, and character and trait development.
All right, so before we get out of here, I did want to ask you just because we talked about a lot of stuff, and I think in talking about it, we did get to it, but
Heat life.
So I want to talk about that because I want to make sure that I know we talked about it like over it, but I want you kind of like tell them what it means, what it stands for, and we kind of dig into that before we get out of here.
Okay, HEAT stands for honest, educated, assured, and triumphant youth. It's just a play, like I said, a play on the word of heat, and to retrain their mindset from street life, to go from street life to heat life. And those are with the use of the character development program and the trade skills program that I place the kids in. And the goal of that is for them to know, to grow, and to show. So once they know, and then they begin to grow, they go back and give those same things out to the other kids in the community. So it's like a complete cycle. I wish I should have worn my CRYDC. It's like a recycle logo. So, and that's what we need to do in our communities. Usually,
well, that's better than a regular cycle, because I know in the hood, you know, how we came up, a lot of cycles are rinse and repeat. Yeah. So like you do the same things. You get in trouble, you go to jail, you get slapped in the hand.
That's what made me
come back
come
home,
up with that
go
concept.
to jail again. It's like you just keep doing it all over and that's what you're repeating. But what you got going on is something totally different. It's a different
recycle.
Definitely.
And like you said before, product of environment is product of environment, but what you place in that child is what the product of they'll be. Same thing with the hood. Whatever you place in the hood. But too many times, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with getting out of the hood. Too many times we get out and we don't come like give back in the sense of helping a child learn something.
Right.
What we've learned. And I was able to speak at a Stop the Violence rally, and I told them we always saying stop the violence, but we don't hold the hood accountable for the things for what's taking place, and usually it's because it's holding the people accountable. The reason why the drug dealer is so avid in the black communities or the low income or at-risk communities, because the drug dealer make moves. The drug dealer is in the homes of the mamas. They're dating the mamas. They're buying the kids shoes. They're going to these kids games. They're doing their service. They're doing their due diligence. There's no hate in that, because a drug dealer would give these kids an opportunity before a person with a business will. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So there's love there, there's connection there, there's relationship there. So what we have to do is do the same thing. We have to be the ones to give them I'm not hating on drug dealers. I got drug dealers in my family. I was a drug dealer myself. But what I'm saying is that can't be the look for our communities no longer, man.
Yeah.
It's destroying us. It's destroying our people. The 5 things, and I know you probably ain't going to agree with it because most people don't, but the 5 things that destroy black families is homosexuality, black on black crime, which is no such thing as black on black crime, but what people
black on black crime.
Yeah, black on black crime, mass incarceration, interracial dating, and drugs. So our homes are being destroyed by what we're pumping into our communities, and if we don't stop it with the recycle, with Heat Life, and it doesn't have to be my way of Heat Life, but just reintroducing the kids to new things and new opportunities, and being present like those people who I just named.
Right.
Then we could see change. We're not gonna see change if we don't.
I kind of got a new leaf of how I do things. Like I know you said I wouldn't agree. I would have to like think about it first before I disagree. You know what I'm saying? That's something like I couldn't just say, oh no, I don't agree. Like it's nothing you said that I could just stand and say I don't agree because this that. I have to have reasons why I don't really agree. And like I wouldn't necessarily do that. But I feel like everybody got their own kind of ideas of what kind of started destroying the black community. Yeah. But I feel like it's also always based on not only like evidence, but it's based on reality. Yeah. So I couldn't tell you I disagree because your reality may reflect all 5 of them things being the reason why.
And the reason why I say it is because those things keep our black families from standing. And I'll name them again. If your father is on or your mother is on drugs, what's that's going to keep the black family from standing, right? If your father, because most of the time that's what it is, because black men date outside their race more than any other race. If they're dating outside their race, our black boys and our black girls are not being raised by their fathers. You get what I'm saying? If your father or your mother is in jail, black families are being destroyed. And this is no disrespect to anybody that's homosexual, you guys.
Yeah, I ain't taking it as that, but I get you saying. I ain't taking it as that, though.
If the father or the mother, that's stunning the black family from growing. If we're around here killing each other, that's stunning the black family from growing. So those are the reason why I spoke on those things. Our ideology has to change. And so we're progressive into promoting the black family instead of finding things that destroy it. And I'm telling you, mainstream media and all that, all those things I named, they push those, especially on low-income hood people. Rap music, all that stuff. And there ain't no disrespect to rap music, but all those things are pushed onto us. And that's why we behave the way we behave, you know?
Mm-hmm. Nah, I like I said, I agree with you saying like our ideology have to change. I do feel like, and I don't think everybody has to be on the same ideology. We just got to be more positive with it. Even what you saying about the drug dealer, it's kind of hard because on one hand, all drug dealers are different too. You know what I'm saying? You got some drug dealers that will really like they protect a lot of them because let's just say athletes. Let's say the athletes, right? They use that. They protect a lot of them too because they make sure that they don't get messed. Don't mess with that person. That somebody can make it out the neighborhood.
And they go back to what I was saying. They go back to what I was saying when I said the drug dealers are present. Mm-hmm.
They doing their due diligence.
Yeah, they doing. Yeah.
And you can't have the drug dealer outdoing you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
but that's what it is, man.
Even in movies we see all the time.
You see preachers who sit up here and talking about these things who don't even try to go into communities at all. But the drug dealers are there making it happen. They having the youth basketball games. They got youth football teams. You know what I'm saying? They're making it happen. So who do you think they look up to?
I 100% agree.
Yeah, man.
I done seen it. So
yeah, so you got people who outside of the hood who won't see change in the hood and ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
pastors and business owners. Yeah, you saying all this stuff, but how are you giving back?
How are you giving back? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, man. I 100% agree. I do feel like our conversation was amazing. I think that just the honesty, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended, you got the honesty in the Heat Life, but the honesty, the educational part, everything that Heat stood, I keep saying Heat Life stood for, I think that you embody it. So
I appreciate it.
And I mean that's before you even talked about it just now. Like the whole time we spoke, everything you spoke about, it's like you checked every single one of them acronyms off.
Oh, man.
You know? So I definitely I can rock with that. I think what I took from this most is the consistency part. I feel like that's something we don't necessarily think about. It's like it's like something you might. it's like something that you think about, but not that detailed.
Yeah.
Like I might know I'm a walk lightly so I can see what my kids doing in the room, right? But that's like a small but detail, like saying like I'm gonna be real attentive today. Like they'll know the difference. So I mean, I like that, the consistency part. I'm gonna try to. I think that's one thing I probably will do. Try to be more consistent with how I handle them on a day-to-day basis. So it's not like one day they could be like, I'm gonna get one over on daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm already spoil them anyway, so they probably gonna think that anyway. But I'm gonna try to be consistent with everything. So yeah, I appreciate it. This is a dope conversation though.
I appreciate it. It was very good.
I think like you said, it's your not your first podcast, but like I said, this is different than you get the lights, the camera, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you did a great job. So
thank you. I appreciate it, and I thank you for the opportunity.
No, you're welcome. Like I said, I watch. I don't. Anybody have my guests that I have on here? I never have somebody that just came out there and started doing something. I've always been watching them for a minute. That's how you get these genuine conversations. Because sometimes I've been wanting to ask for a minute, I just didn't ask the person.
Yeah.
Then I finally get them in front of me. Like I got time to ask them this and ask them that. So yeah, like I said, I think 2018, the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
So since then I've been watching.
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Well, it's been, Corona years, when you got to add 4 years. Because every year Corona like 4 years.
Yes, Corona here been here 10 years.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, this was dope, man. You got anything you want to tell people before we get out of here?
I would just at me if you need any of my services, and I've already named them. I'll name them again. Motivational speaking, behavior modification, and I'm a behavioral specialist. Parent coaching. Did I say counseling?
Nope.
Counseling, character development, and trade skills. I can assist you with all of those areas. But yeah, man, the goal is to be better. And I have a couple events coming up this year, as I mentioned, and I just hope you guys tune in and check out my page, CRYDC 19 on Facebook. That's where I mostly am. And on Instagram at Beautiful Ray of Light.
All right, man. One Man's Podcast. We out.